LOVE 191.
2. Welcome, Loveline.
With Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Would you sleep with sick women?
I may be pregnant, but I'm still a man.
Spank the unruly ones. It's indecent, it's vulgar, it's blasphemous.
I'm gonna ride you till you can't stand up.
Come on, let's go down.
All right, keep your shirt on. Loveline's meant for an adult audience. Loveline may contain sexually oriented content. Listener discretion is advised. Here's Loveline with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla.
Yes. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew. He's a board-certified physician and addiction medicine specialist. And tonight, our guest is the love that the two hosts find between them.
Have been searching for would be the correct term, I think.
Yes, in vain.
Yeah.
And speaking of veins, tomorrow night, John Popper from Blues Traveler will be in here, and I will ignite the Loveline listenership one more time by jamming with John.
On your saxophone?
No. I'm going to grab another instrument from my arsenal.
What?
You understand?
No.
Like some people have a gun safe in their house.
Yeah, right.
I have a safe with
Yes,
nothing but
yes.
instruments in it.
Right.
And I hit a button, and like the Batcave, and the wall turns around, and there they are, all clearly displayed, and I grab, because it's like a weapon to me. It's the way I use these
I
instruments.
see. And everybody who knows you play instruments.
Yeah, I play a couple instruments. The thing about instruments, to be fair, is once you learn one, it becomes easier to learn others.
I beg your pardon.
You know what I'm saying? It's like a language, like they say with
it
languages.
depends if it's the clarinet and the saxophone or the guitar and the piano.
Right, ass and blowing is blowing.
Oh, okay.
Once you got it down, you got it down.
That's nice.
Now, I'm going to give you a little hint on this one. There's no blowing involved with this instrument, except for when I actually had to get the instrument from the guy who had it. There was some blowing involved there, but this is not a wind instrument.
Right.
I will once again
I've seen your hand. It's not something that not a keyboard either.
It may be.
Yeah.
We don't know. Could be it could be a cello for all you know, Drew.
Could be.
The point
Then
is,
I'm pleased.
we will peel one more layer off of the onion known as Adam Carolla,
Yes.
just to get to the nougaty center.
You're just working on that PRS.
That's right. I'm trying to my personal rating system.
That's right.
I'm going to score at least 5 points in each category tomorrow night.
Well, we didn't put musicianship in there. That's got to be a position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's got it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's huge. Ladies love guys in bands.
I see.
And the ladies are going to fawn over me after they hear me playing tomorrow night with John Popper.
All right.
Now, let's just go over it for 1 second. John Popper first came on the show, I would say, about a year and 7, 8... No. He was here like a year and 7 months ago.
Right.
He brought a harmonica. I made a fool of myself attempting to play this harmonica in front of God and everyone. It was quite humiliating, Drew. I wish you were here. You'd still be talking about it to this day. I vowed never to let this happen again. I vowed vengeance. And the next time John Popper came on the show was about a year later. And I blew away the Loveline listenership by pulling out my horn. That's a saxophone. I call it a horn.
I see.
Jammed along with John Popper. I believe you were impressed. Ann went through 3 pair of panties and a seat cushion over there. And John was this close to ask me to take up with the band and actually hit the road with them.
All right, I can't even stand to hear this talk. So
Tomorrow
let's see
night,
what happens tomorrow night.
I'm going into the arsenal
Making
again.
my skin crawl. So let's.
And I'm going deep into the arsenal,
All
too.
right.
I could go through our archives and see if I could find it.
Which
It
one?
was
tape?
pretty happening, yeah.
Oh, me
You-
jamming with...
You and John jammed last time.
Oh, yeah, on the sax.
Yeah.
Yeah, see if we can find a little piece of that. That might be fun for some people,
Just to
new
get everybody all
affiliates.
excited again.
Yeah.
And then really to just sort of highlight and really sort of punctuate his musicianship and talent, maybe the doot-doot-doo-doot with Suzanne Vega.
Well, see,
just to punctuate this.
I'm not much of a vocalist, Drew. That's what we call singing.
Yeah,
I'm not a vocalist, you see, but I play.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
If I could sing, I'd be singing, and I probably wouldn't be as adept at playing all the instruments I do. All right, Drew.
Everything else okay?
Yeah.
I hear you had a little problem reading your airline ticket. We haven't talked about this. My wife stopped and she goes, ask John Madden about his airline ticket.
Well, your wife sent over 45 airline tickets. Oh, yeah, that is a good point. I started yelling at Susan about this over the phone.
Yeah.
Not really yelling at her, but yelling for her.
About it.
About it. I don't know if there's anyone listening who's involved with the printing or manufacturing of airline tickets, but I swear to God, there are more numbers on the front of this airline ticket. I and my roommate both stared at my ticket for 10 minutes. Both relatively educated men, at least he is. We both stared at this thing, and we could not find the time, the departure time. I was trying to, Drew and I are going out of town on Wednesday. We'll be back Friday. And I was trying to figure out what time I was leaving Wednesday morning. And here's the problem. A lot of the flight stuff has the same sort of number of digits that the time would.
Right.
For instance, we're flying a 727.
Right. A Y, and the flight's like YZ 1927 or something.
Right. Now, 727 could mean 727 in the AM.
Right.
And oftentimes, they don't have anything next to it that says flight.
But then there'll be the flight number will then be like a YZ or a Y something, and then another 4-digit or 3 digits.
And then there's the whole like departure number and code number and fuel regulations, and then there's the like OSHA calling numbers on there. I mean, there are nothing but numbers on this thing, and there's nothing. Here's what you do when you write it, when you make up a ticket. Put the time on there in bold-faced lettering, and don't even say departure. Should say, a-hole, you leave at this time. This is when the plane leaves, with or without you. Stared at this thing for 20 minutes trying to find it. I had poor Susan on the phone. I was staring at it while she was waiting on me, could not find it, and saw a whole litany of other numbers next to it. I don't really care. Personally, 727, 747, DC-10. What am I, working for Boeing? We're going to do some troubleshooting if there's some difficulty with the plane. I don't care what the plane is. I want the time the plane is leaving. Put that on the ticket. Stop trying to confuse. There's certain jobs that try to make things a little more important than they actually are to justify the cost.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what a ticket should say: the name of the airline, your name, time the plane is leaving. That's all. Oh, and the airport, so you know where you're going. That's enough. You take it from there. Don't need to know the docket number. Don't need to know the serial number on the fuselage of the particular plane that I'm flying in. Don't care. Wouldn't know the difference between a DC-10 and a 727. Really wouldn't. Okay. Was that what we were talking about?
That's what it was.
All right. And also, we got to find out about this lecture thing.
Yeah.
Drew and I are doing a lecture. We have no idea what...
An appearance.
I think it's a lecture. I think we got to kill about an hour and a half. Or you're going to be dodging folding chairs, Drew. These college guys, and all hell breaks loose. The point is we're doing a little lecture at the University of Iowa.
Okay.
Go Buckeyes. The point is
Hawkeyes.
I mean, go Hawkeyes. Thought we were in Ohio for a second. The point is this. As God is my witness, I will yell go Buckeyes out there. You know I will, because I have Tourette's. I want to talk to somebody tonight who's been to one of these college lectures and tell us what goes on here.
Like,
I don't know if it's all question and answer. I don't know if I get up there and talk for 20 minutes, then Drew gets up there and talks for 20 minutes. I don't know if we do what we do here on the radio show, just bore everybody for 2 hours.
They would contacted us and describe what they were looking for. But we'll find out when we get there.
It's the lecture thing, Drew.
I don't know what that means.
Do we bring slides? Do we talk about our upbringing? Do we do some history on the show? What do we do? I have no idea. Somebody call us and tell us if they've ever been to one of these things. Debbie.
Hi.
Hey, you're 34.
Yeah. First, I wanted to say I saw Dr. Drew Friday on Politically Incorrect,
Right.
and you did real well.
Well, thank you.
Sometimes he could be a little insulting, and he interrupts and stuff. So
You're talking about Tony Curtis. Or did Bill?
no,
Bill
yeah,
Maher?
Bill.
It's talking about you.
I like him and everything, but sometimes he doesn't let you talk.
I'm a huge fan of his now, I got to tell you. I thought he was
I love
bright,
watching
smart.
that show. I watch it
funny.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then what I wanted to ask you is, I called you about a month ago about my daughter who had been molested, and she wasn't talking about it.
Right. I vaguely remember. How old is she again?
12.
Right.
Well, she's doing real good and everything, but I'm not. It seems like I'm worse off than her. That I have a hard time sleeping. I can't get it out of my head.
What was the situation with your daughter?
Well, I sent her to a corner store to get some bread. It was about 4 in the afternoon, about 2 blocks away. And there was 2 boys that were minding the store. One was 18, one was 17. They took her in the back room.
A knife point or something? Or?
No, not at knife point. They just took her in the back room, and she didn't say anything, I found out.
How'd you find out?
I found a lighter in her pocket at home, and then at school they called me and said they found a lighter in her locker. So I thought maybe she was smoking or something. So I went in her room. I know I shouldn't have, but I did, and I found her diary, and I read it in her diary.
Oh, hold on 1 second, Debbie.
Uh-huh.
I got to talk about this dual diary idea of mine one more time. I know I've talked about it before, but it bears repeating. Kids, teenagers, please, smarten up. You have to have 2 diaries, or no diaries. Here's how many diaries you get. You have 0 diaries, or you have 2. I just like to look at Drew sometimes when he has that, he just drew the curtains on his face look. You know when you go to Vegas, they have those blackout shades before you take a nap?
Yeah.
That's what you look like sometimes, Drew.
Thank you. That's what I feel like right now, matter of fact.
No diary. In this case, it's all right that you found the diary, but so often girls keep diaries. Guys don't keep diaries. Guys keep their diary in their mind.
Right.
Guys are
It's
so
a
used
visual
to
thing,
using
too.
their mind after years and years of masturbation that they it's like they have this Rolodex in their head. They don't need to write it down. Women, for some reason, feel compelled to write stuff down. But you write it down, and inevitably, mom comes in, brother comes in and blackmails you. Somebody finds the information. If you do something and you're going to put it in a diary, you need to have 2 diaries. The one you keep between the box spring and the mattress that has all the dirty stuff in it. I was smoking, I was having sex, I was doing drugs, so I hate my parents, I hate God, and I hate my counselor at school. And the other one that you leave out. Now, you don't leave it out right on top so mom can trip over it. That's too obvious. You just put it in the sock drawer. You know mom will look there. And that one says, had a great time at Bible study, looking forward to catechism
Maybe you ought to
next
publish
week.
some pre-made pages of the diary. They can just copy it out in their own handwriting.
Right.
Some pre-made stories.
Becoming closer to my parents, Jesus Christ, and teachers and faculty alike. Actually, teachers are faculty. All right, enough about that. Debbie.
Hi.
All right, so you found the diary. And did the diary say she was raped?
She described it in detail, but it was the way she described it was almost as if she's seen it. And, you know, it was like the way she is about the whole thing. She's really off-putting. She kind of puts a mask on when it's spoken about.
Now, did you say she was 12 or 14?
12.
No, big difference. For some reason, I thought she was 14.
No, she was
She's 14
only
now.
12.
Oh, when it happened.
Yeah,
And did she have sex with these guys?
one of them.
And how long after the incident did you find the diary?
Oh, let's see, it happened in July. I found it in September.
So it'd been some time.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice her acting differently between July, after July?
Not really. Not really, no. And when I went through I didn't really read the whole thing. I just kind of flipped through the pages. She has, like, chicken scratch handwriting, really terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this one section that was written neatly that kind of stood out in my eye, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the one I read. And that's the one that it was. It was a...
But did she write it as if she had been victimized?
Yeah.
She did?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying she wasn't. I just want to know, in her mind, did she write it down as if it was some sort of fantasy, or did she write it down as if she was, brutalized?
Nightmare.
Well, I don't know about brutalized. She was kind of talked into it. I don't know how to explain it.
Right.
They
And-
didn't, like, beat her up and...
Right. And then you brought it up to her?
Well, the funny thing is she was having problems with her cycle. And the night before I found it, we went to the doctor. So I didn't want to say anything because, I
Right.
didn't know what to do. So what I did is I told her, I said, Nikki, you have to tell me if you've had sex. Because, you had these tests done last night, and she got a little nervous. And she broke down and told me all about it.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the only time she'd had sex at that age?
Yes.
Okay.
And so, because then I had to take her back and have all these tests done, and we went to the police station, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a terrible.
Did they ever bring these guys to justice?
Yeah,
They
he went
did?
to jail.
They went to jail?
Yes, he did.
Oh, good.
I pressed charges.
Oh.
Did anything like this ever happen to you?
No. I never had that, and that's the thing is like my family is still really close. My father passed away, but my family's really close and everything, and it's hard for me to understand this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I can't imagine what. In my mind, I keep going over, well, what's it doing to her? What's she going to think when she gets older? Is she going to
That's gotta be
go
bad.
from being... Because some people that are molested either have eating disorders or they
Right,
end up not wanting anything to do with men or else being real promiscuous.
Right,
And
you're
I'm
right.
trying-
You're right, Debbie. And
I'm trying to figure out which way to do what's right for her, and
Well,
I'm scared out of my mind.
and it must be a horrible and helpless feeling.
Exactly.
And of course, it's going to be disturbing to you, and it's because you're a good mom that you're concerned like this. However, the best thing you can do actually is to get her some ongoing professional help. I would think, what can you do? Well, you can be a supportive mom. You can be available. You can try to encourage her to talk about her feelings, and let her get on with her life. But she probably at that age is going to have difficulty really understanding or connecting with what it is that it has done to her. And unless she is in some sort of therapeutic relationship with a professional, it's probably not going to come out, and it could impact her relationships in the way you're suggesting. So if you have the resources and you want to do something, that's something you can do. Get her a therapist, and she can just, for the next several years, meet with that person once a week.
Yeah, she's a good mom. She cares about her kid. It was an isolated thing. It was traumatic, but I've heard worse.
It could be.
I think she'll be all right.
Yeah, things could turn out fine.
Jessica.
My mom or my sister's not.
Jessica.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're 15.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're on Loveline.
Oh, hi.
All righty.
So, my problem is, my boyfriend's on vacation, and, I told him that I wasn't ready, to do anything with him or anything, and he went to the East Coast to visit his grandparents, and then...
Hold on. I can see it now. Listen, Grandma wants me to come out for the summer. Am I going to get any sex? No. Okay, hold on. Grandma? Yeah, I'm coming out. No, because I love you. So he took off for the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, and then me and a bunch of my friends and a bunch of his friends, he's 17 and I'm 15, and we all went out, and I kind of gave his best friend a blowjob.
Kind of?
I did.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Because, if you only use part of your tongue, Drew,
It's only kind
that's only half a blowjob. Wow. See, I would... Drew, we've talked about this before, and I know a blowjob is not what a blowjob used to be.
Right, I understand that.
To me, a blowjob was something you did to piss off your parents back when. I mean, that was naughty.
It was, deviant almost. Yeah, it came later.
At least, from a guy who never really got one in high school, that's the way I always look. It was shrouded in mystery. What is this elusive blowjob? Tell me more. I have to talk to my friends about it. But the deal is now I don't think it means quite as much.
Well, now I think women have included it in the decision to start petting or to be close.
Well, the
at
guy
all.
he did buy me some cotton candy after all. He deserves something.
But intriguingly, it's a women's way of sort of getting the guys, of getting away from the issue of sex in general. Sort of disarms the guy.
Sort of like throwing your dog a pillow when he's feeling amorous, so he doesn't hump the company's leg. Is that what you're saying, Drew?
Yeah.
All right, so Jessica, you gave oral sex to your boyfriend's best friend.
Yeah.
And now, is your boyfriend back in town yet?
No, he's not going to be for another 2 weeks.
Oh, he's playing dominoes with Grandma. Meanwhile, you're going to town.
Well, they talk about one is.
Hold on, why'd you do it?
Well, we had kind of smoked some pot and so.
You're not. Look, you're just not that into your boyfriend. That's the bottom line here.
Well, I don't know. It's just
Have you always liked his best friend?
no, he's one of my friends.
Well, it's kind of gone beyond that, though. I mean, you're sort of shrouded in denial here. It's like you don't want to admit what's happened, but it happened, and there's obviously something more between you two, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to go through with more of a relationship with him?
It's I still want to stay with my boyfriend, but I just know that I heard that his best friend's been telling a bunch of our friends about what's been happening.
No,
You're done.
you're done.
And I know he's gonna tell it's
You're done. You got to get in the witness relocation program. They really need a blowjob relocation
And
program.
then this is the best friend thing again.
Same principle.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'll no longer have any best friends. They'll kill you. I'll tell you. And I can only imagine what best friends do to you as an adult. I mean, when you're a kid, they just have sex with your, when you're a teenager, your best friend has sex with your girlfriend. As an adult, they're, sodomize your wife and take off with your kids or something. Yeah. See, people smarten up. No one has any best friends as adults. So, Jessica.
Yeah.
He's going to find out.
Yeah, most likely.
All right. Did you sort of have some feelings for the best friend before?
That's what I asked.
No, nothing more than
They were just friends. I can't buy that.
Yeah, I can't either. Oh. And did you guys make out and everything, or was it just right to the blowjob?
kind of right to business.
Wow. And what was going through your stoned and feeble mind at that point? I mean, did you just think, is this something I want to do, or he's going to really dig this, or what do you think? I know you're stoned and everything, but...
Well, I guess I didn't really think about it. I just, didn't...
Where are all the impulsive women in my
life? But Jessica, I am not
all right,
buying your thing here, your story. I mean, you don't take responsibility for anything. You don't really like him. It's whatever. You need to figure out what's up with you and be honest with yourself and go with your feelings.
Obviously, only so into the boyfriend.
Yeah.
If you're just doing the impulsive face dive into his best friend's crotch.
And obviously something for the best friend. Either that or just a tremendously helpless person who feels terrible about herself and anybody can convince her to do anything.
It didn't even sound like the guy did any put any leg work in.
Right.
I'd have to wear out a pair of shoes and spend quite a few dollars before I got any oral pleasure. This guy was just probably yawning, and she just latched onto him.
It's very strange. It
breaks my heart to hear about young people getting this stuff.
I get a very strange feeling from her. It's just.
I don't know. I didn't get that weird a vibe. But here's the deal: you cannot have your cake and blow it too. I think that's the lesson we're learning here tonight. You're not into the boyfriend. The boyfriend is going to find out, and he's going to be PO'd. And here's the catch-22. If the boyfriend finds out and dumps you, you're dumped. And if the boyfriend finds out and doesn't dump you, there's something flawed in his character, and you don't want to be with him anyway. Either way, you got to get out of it. I would wait for the guy to come back in town. Don't ruin the rest of his vacation. Tell him what went on. Downgrade blowjob to hand job and move on. Okay. That's why they call me the Sage Girl. What the hell was that? Oh, all right. Sounded cool. Had to work that into the mix. All right, Mike, turn your mic down a little, please. Jesus Christ.
I hear him breathing.
Phone number, 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. John Popper from Blues Traveler will be in here tomorrow night. And I will be getting down with him. Spiritually, physically, and musically. It's going to be another Loveline Jam session.
All right, we got the message. We got it.
I was talking to a friend of mine tonight who, the guy who works at Vibe, the producer guy at Vibe.
Right.
And talking about Blues Traveler. And he said, at the party you were at on Saturday night, the one where I got real drunk.
Yeah.
You were talking to one of the guys from Blues Traveler for like a half hour.
Do you remember?
I have no idea.
Okay. I'm just so proud of you. I'm glad I just appreciate the way you represent the show. Let's go.
Oh, it was brilliant. Lauren.
Hi.
Hey, you're 14.
Yeah. Well, I'm pregnant with this guy, and no one, none of my friends except for my best friends know that I'm even dating this guy.
All right. How far along are you?
About a month.
And
a couple weeks.
Who's
due around April 16th.
Are you planning to keep the child?
Yeah.
I mean, you must have just found out you were pregnant.
Yeah.
Like when?
Like a couple days ago.
Okay. And you're planning to keep it. How old is the guy?
I'm 15.
And how do you know him?
I met him through kind of a friend of my best friend, you know?
Why is it such a secret that you're seeing the guy?
Well, because I'm afraid how they're going to react.
Why?
Because my parents, would not approve of this guy.
Why?
Because he's into heavy drugs and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Oh, great.
Well, I'm sure he'll be a good dad in another 7-8 months.
Is he doing IV drugs?
Yeah.
So you need an AIDS test. You need a hepatitis C test also, right?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, Lauren. I mean, that's true.
Uh-huh.
You know, AIDS, obviously, I think people are coming to understand that's a significant risk, but even a more substantial risk for you, it would be hepatitis C, which is very common in people who use IV drugs. And this is a disorder that has somewhere around a 60 to 80% chance of causing chronic liver disease, and ultimately half of those people get cirrhosis and even cancer. I mean, this is very serious stuff. Now, this is life-shattering issues. I mean, I mean, we got to take this very seriously. I mean, it's all sort of tossed out there, like, oh, I'm pregnant now, and I'm just worried about the guy. It's not
Well, she's overwhelmed.
I mean, what? How did you get into this situation?
Well, I just got pregnant. And he says that he wants me to move in with his family.
And he's a heroin addict.
Yeah.
And he's living with his family.
Yeah, that's kind of a messed up family.
How do you get to be a heroin addict at 15?
Yeah, it's pretty. You have to really be in trouble usually.
You really got to work hard, huh? I didn't have that kind of discipline.
What's going on with you, Lauren, that you would act out with a guy like this? What's happening at your home?
I've got a good family.
Well, if you have a good family, do you love them? No? All right. Why don't you like your family?
Well, I don't see my dad all that much.
Where is he?
He is in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Doing what?
I don't know. He's with his new wife.
I see. When did that happen?
Like, I don't know, like 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Hold on. Hold on a second, Lauren. Quick message to Papa. Don't ignore your daughter.
Or don't think that your behavior is not going to have a dramatic impact on hers.
Oh, yeah.
Dramatic, no matter what it is.
Oh, yes.
You mistreat your wife. You don't spend enough time with your kids. You focus too much on your business. You don't give kids discipline. You don't spend dinner with them.
Hold on, Drew. Weren't you the guy who left a case of chocolate out on the counter not more than a week ago so that the kids could scurry off of them like raccoons and devour them
little
in
did I
bulk
know
form?
That the rest of my household would let it sit there.
You got to fire that nanny of yours. Where's she from, Prague? Boy, did I have a conversation with her on the phone the other day. The point is this. Dads, do not abandon your daughters. Do not abuse your daughters because they will find a new papa. They'll find a 15-year-old heroin addict papa.
Well, a symbol of how they feel about you.
Oh, yes.
That's really what that is.
They will find a new papa, only the difference is they're having sex with this papa.
Oh.
That is what goes on. You know what I want on my test, by the way? My personal ranking system or personal rating system. Drew, we were talking about this today. There should be a little tag on the end of one, 5-pointer.
A coda.
For the ladies, what do you think of your dad? And for the guys, what do you think of your mom? Because this will ensure your relationship. I mean, either it'll make it or it'll break it. In other words, if I'm potentially trying to size up a woman to date her, and at the very end she says, I hate my dad, if I had a gun, I'd shoot him, that's a deal breaker.
Right.
You know there's trouble. And if a guy hates his mom, can't stand her, wants to kill her, so on and so forth, or is over-involved with mom or what have you, actually, he's probably into guys if he's over-involved with mom. But the point is that should be a little rider at the end of the test, because that's how you know if you can date them successfully or not.
Double Jeopardy question.
Thank you, Drew.
Daily double.
All right. So, Lauren, you're going to keep the kid. You're going to raise it.
Yeah.
You're not going to give it up for adoption, and you're not going to get an abortion.
All right. Here's what you're going to do.
Now, why won't you get an abortion, by the way?
Because I just don't believe in that, I guess.
But you believe in sex with heroin addicts.
Yeah.
There's where, but she draws a line at abortion. I like that. All right. I'm not so sure about this guy, Lauren.
Here's the deal. You can. It's admirable. Frankly, I think it's admirable that she would see the pregnancy through. It's going to be difficult to raise a child, particularly since she's a child herself. But so be that, and hopefully she gets some family support for that. But at least she can avoid totally screwing up her life by not getting involved further with this guy. You understand? I mean, there's a potential for salvation. Sometimes salvaging this
Where's
life.
the kitty, Drew? I'm gonna put $1 in already. Everybody, all of America, dig into that wallet.
But be that as it may, just
seriously,
I understand. But I would rather the only way out of this is away from that guy, unless he gets clean and sober and is that way for like 3 years.
You cannot have a heroin addict around your infant.
You don't want to go into a crazy
smoke the kid.
This is the beginning of a long slide into misery.
Oh.
Now, I ask you to seriously consider adoption. Seeing the pregnancy through because of your beliefs is a wonderful thing. But you can think about adoption so you can ultimately go on and live your life the way it becomes, whatever it becomes. Give yourself a chance to grow into an adult and live your life the way you want to. And give this child an opportunity to have parents who are ready to be parents. There are lots of very, very, very eager and worthwhile parents out there would love to raise the child.
All right, so Lauren, seriously consider adoption, please.
Okay.
Believe me, if I ran the country, would not be an option. Mandated.
You
yes.
Put that, my! You're sounding more like me all the time.
Thank you. Anyone under 18 has a kid? We're taking it.
Yeah.
Putting it in my farm. Oh yes, strong back. The ladies, we send away to an island, but the men with the strong backs, we make workers out of them.
He wants to groom this child for his abuse farm.
Old McDrool. All right, Lauren, give the kid up for adoption. That would be our option. If that's not something you're willing to do, then please think this guy through, because he will have some legal rights here, by the way. Heroin papa at now 15, at the ripe old age of 15 and a half. Let's be fair, though, Drew. He's only 15 now. By the time the child comes out, he may be 15 3/4. There's a big difference between a new 15 and an old 15.
And work on your relationship with your dad. That's really where the whole...
Dad should be working on the relationship.
Dad should be punished.
Hey, in my society, we go after Dad, too. It's the trickle-down effect.
Yes.
I pulled this guy right in by the ear. Hold on. I know you're banging your trophy wife over in New York, and I know you got a big law firm to run, but come here. I want to show you something. Your young girl, because you did not hang around and raise her, because you had to take off and bang your secretary, is now pregnant at 14 because she did not have any guidance. You understand?
She hated you for abandoning
she's
her.
a minor, and the guy who knocked her up's a minor. But let me tell you who the only adult is in this equation. You. Now, we're going right after you, by the way. You got to pay for... the state is not going to be responsible for this. You are. This is your child. Your child is pregnant. You did not put the time in on your child when you should have. And now we're gonna take it out of you.
Really,
that's what I want. That is the country I want to live in.
Those kinds of forces need to be in place.
Obviously.
If people are allowed to...
Hold on a second. I can't have a pot plant in my backyard? That's the kind of society we're living in, Drew. I live in a goddamn house. I can't grow a pot plant in my backyard.
You can't
I would be
paint your house
arrested.
purple.
I can't paint my house the color I want to paint it. I can't get my garbage picked up. If I want to take the damn mail down to the box, I got to pull a permit from the city. I had the damn guy from the city coming in here telling me, you got to tear that chimney down. I said, it's my house. I want to chance it. I live on the edge. That's the way I live my life. I walk around the goddamn house in slippers and a hard hat. No, you're tearing it down and you're going to pay us $150 for the permit to tear it down. That's the kind of society we live in. I can't have a pot plant in my backyard and I can't leave my chimney alone, but I'll tell you one thing I sure as hell can do.
Take care of the Laurens and Lauren's daughters.
Oh, yes, that I can do very well. I can't get my garbage picked up and I can't have the pot plant, but I sure as hell can pay for everyone who wants to get pregnant.
The carnage that their parents have created.
No, they have no problem
because everybody's concerned about their individual issues. He wants to go bang his secretary or whatever. People do not consider...
he's got rights. What about my right not to pay for other people's rights? Where's that right? What about my right to say, F you? You had a kid, you pay for the kid. Where's that right? Where is that right? What about the right that I say, I want my chimney the way it is. I don't care if it falls down and crushes my dog. Where is that right? I worked on my house. It cost me $1,500 worth of crappy permits. Just paperwork. Just greasing the palms of the bureaucrats down in Van Nuys. Oh, this is so pathetic. And I can't, all this money and permits, I can't put a pot plant in my backyard. You know, if I put a pot plant in my backyard, I would have DEA agents rappelling down the hill with 3 helicopters over my house. I'd be led away, shielding my face in front of the cameras before they put me in a squad car. Meanwhile, this guy's dad's banging Lauren's dad's banging the secretary off in New York, is not responsible whatsoever for the raising of this child.
For the carnage he creates and the people. that are close to him.
And we don't want to live in the kind of society that's going to go after him. Well, we already live in that kind of society. They're just going after me and my chimney.
They're going after the wrong people for the wrong reason.
That's right.
Maybe the right people, but the wrong reason.
I sit in my house and masturbate. Leave me alone. All right.
Commercial.
All right, we gotta go commercial. Oh, yes. I've jammed with quite a few icons in the music industry over the months here on Loveline, Drew. Tomorrow I will continue the jamming with the great John Popper from Blues Traveler. Drew, I know you're not a fan of any music that is sung in English.
Right.
It's all got to be done in Latin or German. And it has to be done by overweight, bearded women and Italian. Italians is kind of, don't they sing in Latin?
Italian. It's all right. Let it go.
Mike, quiet down, would you, over there?
Italian, French, and German. All right.
What are you trying to...
Go ahead.
Okay. Just the point is this. John Popper is a huge talent.
Huge.
Do you know what I'm saying, Drew?
I hear you, sir.
The guy plays the harmonica like nobody's business.
Yes.
If I was Bob Dylan, I'd kill myself after hearing John Popper play that harmonica. And sings like an angel.
Yeah.
And plays harmonica at the same time. Not easy to do.
What's your point?
He will be in here tomorrow night, and I will once again be jamming with him. Engineer Mike, do you have the tape of the last time John Popper was in here?
Here it is.
Brings a tear to your eye.
That's you on the saxophone.
Yeah. That Kenny G can kiss my ass. Starting to buy into some of my own hype.
All right, I've heard that.
All right.
Adam is starting to grate on even me tonight.
And a lot of people think, well, playing one instrument that well would be enough.
Yeah, all right. This is like the fourth time you've said this.
I'm just saying, I'm like Muhammad Ali, plugging a fight.
Yeah,
Sure,
I
I
know.
talk a lot, but I deliver once I enter the ring.
All right.
So tomorrow night,
We were totally impressed. I mean, you shocked us all.
well, prepare to be re-shocked
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
tomorrow night, Ann. I'm going to come in here like a volt of 220 coursing through your
I
veins.
believe you. After what I saw in the sax, I totally believe you.
And knows no longer to doubt the man anymore. All right, so John Popper and some more jamming tomorrow night. Liz.
Yes.
Hey, you're 20, you're on Loveline.
Hi. I just wanted to add to your injustice that you were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And, I live in an apartment in Sacramento, and we have an exit sign on our patio wall. And we got a letter last night from the apartment managers telling us that we needed to take it down because some residents in the complex had a problem with it.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a sign. It doesn't have any kind of racist or,
What was their problem with it? That they were confused?
Well, here, I'll read you the letter. I have it right here.
Now,
I know, when it
we're not-
comes to what you want to do to your
Yeah.
dwelling, all of a sudden
Well,
we're living in Nazi
Now,
Germany.
I understand that, but you were not going off just about authority in general. In fact, I am. This what you're yelling about is actually the outgrowth of the 60s when it was all about distrusting authority. The wrong kind of authority came into place because of that.
Well, we're worried about the
It's-
man.
Yeah, but the man has now become an unthoughtful, poorly thought out,
Bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy.
Instead, the man has taken on a life of his own.
Oh yeah.
Like when I had the inspector in my house, and I did a big remodel, and the inspector was telling me the bathroom door in my downstairs bathroom, I have one bathroom downstairs, that bathroom door is going to need to be 32 inches wide by code. And I said, yes, but the old door was only 24 inches wide. Old house, built in the 20s, very narrow door.
Right. And obviously poorly built, standing there through multiple earthquakes.
Yeah, it only made it 75 years.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's still the exact same shape it was 75 years
now
ago.
they got much better ideas about how it has to be put back together.
Well-
Why? Why is that code the way it is?
Because I got money.
No? Somebody come in your house, visit you with
With what?
a wheelchair.
Yes. Drew, how do you know about the wheelchair code?
Because I have an office and I, had to build up my
I was
office.
going to go ahead and explain that, but thankfully Drew, by the way, not only paying attention, but knows something about the topic.
But I mean, but the help
It's a
is
1-2 punch for Drew.
But I mean, to get a wheelchair up into your house would require a crane. Think about that. His house sits on a hill, a stair I
crane.
can barely get up.
Listen, we would need a catapult, like the ones they used to use to storm the castle back
I mean,
when.
It's just
Let me tell
unthinkable.
you, my grandmother came over to visit me the other day.
She couldn't get the
Took her an
stairs.
hour and 45 minutes to get from the street up to my house.
I will not let my kids in your house. I'm afraid they'll fall off that wall or even get up the stairs to your house. They could just topple off.
I live in Darwin's house, by the way. It is survival of the fittest. Anybody moronic enough to go running off a wall chasing a frisbee, God bless them. They're gone.
Yeah.
Good. This is how I weed out the stupid.
I'm surprised they don't require a 6-foot fence. all
Oh,
around.
yo, they got requirements for that.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
Is that going to happen?
They are saving you from yourself.
Yes.
God bless them. They are saving you from yourself. But anyway, this guy said to me, the door has to be 32 inches wide in the bathroom. I said, the old door was only 24 inches wide. It's right over here. He said, the problem is you took out the old door. And once you take out the old door, see, I would have let you keep the old door. We can't just walk around and tell you to replace new, old with new. But once you pop off the old door, including the jamb, and just leave a rough opening, now you got to go up to code. You can no longer just replace it.
You can't just put the jam back
Can't
in.
put it back. You took it off.
Oh, that is that.
Right.
Oh.
That's right. You're right. You can pay a few $100,000 for a house, but it's not yours. You're only renting it from the city, pretty much. They get to come by once in a while and tell you how to live your life. So this guy says, well, I need a 32. I said, being a contractor in a past life, I said 32 for wheelchair access, right? He knew what I was getting at. He said 32 is code. I said, why is it code? Because that's the way it is, 32 inches. It's for wheelchair access, is it not? That's code. Now we're getting into an argument because this bastard won't admit.
That's why it's the code.
It's a code 32 inches wide so you can wheel a wheelchair through a thing. But there's several thousand stairs before you get.
It'd be impossible to wheelchair up to your house.
You could not.
You couldn't do it.
That's right.
You could not. I couldn't carry it up to your house with nobody in it.
If I threw a party and invited Larry Flint,
Yeah,
I'd have to cut him off a chunk
No.
of the 6-foot sub and lower it down to him.
No. You'd have to helicopter. He'd have to be helicopter.
No, he just parked the thing down in the street, and I would bring him. I'd like hire a woman to bring him beer.
Right.
He could never come up to the house.
Yeah.
Never. But the door's got to be 32 for wheelchair access. This is when bureaucracy has gone awry.
But it does that in so many ways.
Now, what are you doing here? Are you really worried about the guy in the wheelchair who's never coming up here and never living in this house? And what about my no GIMP policy? I don't like GIMPs. What about that? What about that?
Right.
I'm personally offended by handicapped people. What about that, Drew? I don't want them in my house.
I trust that's not true.
I'll not have a handicapped person in my house.
All right, let's get back to the calls.
What if that is my own personal policy? I cannot exercise that policy in my own house? I'm offended by people in wheelchairs. I do not want them in my house.
I would like to see a society.
That is my policy.
I would like to see a.
That's why I bought a house, by the way.
I would like to.
I
see
hate
a
people in
society-
wheelchairs
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much, Drew, that I had to get my own house in order to get away from those people.
I would like to see a society that created forces that required people thinking like that to interact with people. that felt bad about
All right. But force me to make my bathroom door bigger for the guy in the wheelchair who'll never, ever come to my house is nothing but flexing a bunch of bureaucratic muscle, and it's BS. And, by the way, I have to pay him for the opportunity. What the hell is that?
So what happened?
He changed his door.
You really did?
No, 32 would not fit in that space. It was physically impossible. I went to the largest size that would fit, and it still screwed up the inside detail with the thing, but he would not bend any more than that. I think there's like a 29-inch door in there or something like that, which still screwed things up.
Lisa.
You mean Liza?
Liza, yeah.
Okay, I was like, hello? Yeah, hi Adam, hi Dr. Drew, how are you?
Hold on a second, Liza.
Oh, I was going on a tirade.
How confused could you really have been?
I know what happens
punches
all
up the line and says, Lisa, I mean, where'd you think you think you were, like, speaking Chinese or something?
Well, no, I was like, hello.
All right.
Wasn't sure.
All right, baby.
I didn't hear the little click.
Don't make me go off on you, too.
Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, here's
All right.
my question. All right, it's going to sound a little bit freaky, and that's why I'm asking. I really enjoy phone sex, and I'm wondering if there's some kind of problem with that, or should I just not worry about it, or what?
You know, we got to go to break here.
Oh, we do.
Break
Yeah.
now?
All right. No, but this is titillating.
Hold on, we'll get to this.
Right, I'm done with my tirades. When we come back,
Yeah, well,
I think so.
I think we're taking 4 calls this week.
All right, I'm a filler. Liza,
Yeah.
sit tight.
Okay.
Don't diddle yourself. We'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll get to you and your phone sex question. Adam Carolla and the upstart young Dr. Drew. The show's Loveline. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. John Popper coming up from Blues Traveler tomorrow, and we will be back in 10 seconds.
This is Loveline on radio station.
KROQ-FM, Pasadena, Los Angeles.
The world-famous K-Rock.
All right, Adam Carolla, Dr. Drew, Loveline, and it's back to the phones we go. We've really been burning through the calls tonight. Let's keep it going. Lisa, you're 26. Liza, you're 26.
Yeah?
What's going on there, Mama? Oh, yeah, you're into the phone sex.
Yeah, like I said, I just want to make sure I'm not some kind of freak or something.
You mean with a boyfriend, or?
Well, no, it kind of started off kind of strange like that, but then you have those datelines. Well, yeah, talk to people about physical intimacy, things like that. Tell them what they're going to do and what they're going to do to you. And
I've never called one of these party lines because I only have 2 hands. I can't hold a magazine, hold the phone, and my penis all at the same time. Oh, speakerphone?
There you go. No, actually.
Do you
thought about that?
Have a boyfriend?
Not at the moment. No.
Really? What a surprise.
Well, the thing is that that's the thing is that now I'm just not even really out there looking for a boyfriend or anything like that.
Why?
Why? Well, because
strike one.
She repeated the question.
One. Well,
Yeah.
no, I'm sorry. Why? The reason why is because I guess right now I'm just not really interested in anyone out there, and
Why?
past relationships has just been really stupid.
Why? What happened?
What is
Give us, for an example, the last one.
the last one? Actually, he's probably going to end up in jail. So
Imagine that.
yeah, gee, what a surprise, huh?
Did he abuse you?
No, but the one before that stalked me, so I just had this line of really bad luck.
Right. So luck I don't think had too much to do with this. I mean, the only constant in here was Liza.
Yeah?
And you chose these guys. There's something about...
Yeah, I know. That's why I keep thinking there must be something wrong with me, so I'm like, well, stay away from him for a while.
Well, and so what you've done
Listen, I don't mind this kind of thinking. Something's
understand.
broke. She's not ready to fix it just yet. In the meantime, she's not going to go out and hurt herself.
Yeah, that's fine. But she's asking us if something is broken. We're trying to explore what might be.
No,
broke.
she's not asking. Well, okay,
Yes.
she was asking
Yes,
that. But I'm going to get back to the phone sex just
Well,
for
let me
one
just
second.
finish my thing. Then you can ask all the detail
haven't you
want.
talked enough tonight,
But
Drew?
the deal is, you've got to understand that you're pursuing intimacy in a way that is not working for you. You're either going for guys that are unavailable or abusive or for some reason a bad choice for an intimate partner.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're disappointed and disillusioned by that, you reach out and have these very vicarious, surreal experiences that are really sort of brushes with intimacy, but there's nothing real about them.
Yeah.
And it's all attempt to do the same thing, but for some reason there's, as Adam would say, something wrong with the radar. Something is affecting your ability to choose an appropriate partner and carry out a relationship that is genuinely intimate.
All right. Now that Drew's got that off his chest, let's get to the meat of the call.
Yeah, okay, what?
You call these party lines.
Uh-huh.
These party lines, it's really euphemism for sex line, right?
Not always. Some of them are just like, sometimes they're date lines that you put different, you can get in different categories and things like that.
Mm-hmm. And what about this whole Star 69 business where they
Oh,
can...
no, you can't do that. Oh, no.
You can't?
No, you can't. Well,
Why not?
You don't actually, and you can...
You don't have their phone number.
Through the system, and they can't call you back.
I see. How do you break off individually once you call up this group party line?
Just whenever you're finished, you hang up.
Yeah, but how do you get somebody to speak to somebody separately?
Oh,
How do you pair off?
There's special different numbers you can push. You can be like, press 1 to leave a message, press 2 to talk to them directly.
Poor guy's paying $4.50 a minute, and Liza's going on for free for hours and hours. That's the kind of society we have, by the way. The men will pay. The women, we just make it free, and maybe enough of them will join in. So you break off, and the topic quickly turns to sex, right?
Well, pretty much, yeah. You just kind of leave this.
How do you get into that? What is the first one? What is the first move?
What do you mean, what's the first move?
Into sex. You're chatting it up. I'll be a guy. Let me be one of the guys, Liza. Okay?
Go ahead.
Oh, we're chatting it up.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, well, let's see. You're not really named Liza, but for the sake of realism, I'll just call you Sheila because you wouldn't use your real name, even though you're only using your fake name here. All right, we'll just go with Liza. Hey, Liza, what's going on with you?
Not much.
Yeah.
What's up with you?
Just hanging out, bored, gonna stay in tonight.
Gonna stay in tonight? So what are you planning on? Anything in particular?
Just thought I'd have kind of a me night.
What kind of mood are you in?
Feeling a little frisky.
A little frisky, huh?
Yeah. Sun goes down, street lights come on, penis pops up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a lot of man, too, let me tell you.
Do you have a big one?
Say it's medium big. Why? What are you wearing? You wearing something?
Can you really say this stuff on the air?
Yeah. What'd you do? Just get out of the shower or something?
Oh, yeah, I'm soaking wet.
Yeah. You seem kind of wet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, which hand you holding the phone with? Your good hand?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You should put me on speaker there where I belong. So this is... And this is how it goes, right?
Sometimes people get in the conversation a little bit more faster. It's really fun.
And then the guy just really starts, you guys just start going at it, right?
Yeah.
Talking about what you're going to do?
Mm-hmm. Or, just fantasies.
Now, how do you phrase it? Do you do it in like a past tense or present tense? Like, is a guy saying, you know what I'd be doing if I was over there? Or is he saying, you know what I'm doing right now?
It all depends on the guy, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really does. I mean, sometimes they'll go into what they're doing to themselves right now. And, well, really, that doesn't really work for me because I'm like, well, whatever,
Right.
But then if they go into fantasies where they're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to, I'll tie you up. And
Liza, do you have an orgasm right there on the phone?
Normally I hang up before that.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Why? Poor guy's paying $5 a minute. He can't even hear you have an orgasm?
Well, it really depends. I mean...
All right.
Liza?
Into it, yeah?
Does this make you feel good and gratifying?
You know what? The first time it was like, I thought it was really cool, and that's why I was wondering if there's a problem with it, because I'm like, no, not really.
It doesn't make you feel good.
No?
Well,
all right, so you need to find something else, like a real guy.
Well, yes and no, but like I said, they keep just turning out wrong.
No, you keep finding the wrong guys.
You keep going for the wrong guys, Liza.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, I could just hear it in her voice. She does not feel good about herself, and the only way she feels connected with somebody is when they sort of take over for her, when she's kind of consumed. Did you feel that when you were interacting with her?
You mean sexually?
Well, you had to kind of consume her to get her into it. She's not good at being mutual in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't feel worthwhile enough. She really is, she has to step up a little bit and pick some worthwhile guys, because until she does, she's never going to find anything worthwhile for herself.
Lindsay.
Yes.
You're 21.
Okay, here's my problem. I've been best friends with a girl for a little over a year.
Uh-oh. Best friend.
And that time, we've practically become inseparable. We go everywhere together and do everything
You're
together.
21. Isn't that a little bit late for the best friend thing?
I don't think so. I think everyone should have a really good friend that they can...
Yeah, Drew, there's nothing wrong
I'm
with the
just
best friend,
asking,
21.
Isn't that sort of late?
Well, Drew, you were, you had your ascots laid out for you. You could be fine.
That was my valet, though. That was my best friend.
Your valet, yes. Drew didn't have a best friend. Drew had a squire. Here's what Drew had growing up. He had seconds, a squire, his people, and a valet. And they would lay out his monogram ascots each day on his silk spread before he left the bathroom in his genuine terry cloth towels. And usually you could find Drew at the club sipping an extra dry martini or something like that, but he never had a best friend, just people that the estate employed on his behalf. And Lindsay has a best friend. There's nothing wrong with that.
All right. Thank you, Adam.
All right.
Well, this past Saturday, we went to a club that we like to go to. She was drinking. I wasn't because I was driving. She had way too much to drink. We got into an argument about a look that she said I had on my face that she misunderstood, and she linked it with a comment that a third person told her I'd said, but I hadn't said it. A fourth person actually said it. She blew up. She was accusing me. I knew why she was mad.
If the fourth person tells her directly, can the fourth person then become the third person, or does the fourth person have to tell the third person so that the third person can tell her?
Actually,
because if the fourth goes right to her, the fourth becomes the third person, right, Drew?
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay.
You lost me, Adam.
I'm just saying, you said it was the fourth person, but I'm saying if the fourth goes directly to the second person, then she becomes the third person. And then, of course, the third would become the fourth.
Of course.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say it.
Okay.
She blew up at me. She was accusing me. I knew why she was mad. I really didn't. The argument continued out to the parking lot. I kept asking her what she was talking about, and she said she was so mad she could hit me. Because I thought she wouldn't do it, I got in her face and said, if you think that little of me and our friendship, go ahead and do it. The next thing I knew, she attacked me. She grabbed my face, dug her nails in. The next thing I knew, I was on the ground, and she slammed my head on the concrete. Our friend stopped it.
Did she intentionally slam your head on the concrete?
I was questioning that.
She was loaded, too.
I don't know.
To me, this is still a very dangerous element to be in. Anyone who, like, kicks somebody while they're down on the ground or tries to bang their head against the concrete or something, that is a very dangerous and volatile person.
Yeah.
I don't know. It all happened so fast.
All right.
I don't know.
Well, see, Drew, why you need best friends? See, you know your problem is, Drew, you got no best friends, and you've never been attacked. You don't know what it's like to be attacked by a loved one.
Well, what my question actually is that we're going to get together later this week and discuss this. We want to come to some resolution. She wants to work this out, and so do I. I don't, after being best friends and having such a good relationship without, throughout the year.
Yeah, there's something. This is like a a boy-girl relationship too that ends up
I know,
like this.
that's
There's something
what everyone
flawed in the
says.
relationship. Obviously,
There's sort of the prison lesbian movie overtones going on here.
No,
You ever see Caged Heat?
What?
No.
There's no lesbian stuff going on, really.
But it was an
I don't know. Someone gets drunk. There's a physical attack in the parking lot.
It's just an over-intense, enmeshed relationship. You see that? There's not a lot of mutuality in this relationship. It's like you own each other, and you're intertwined in a way that's intense. And when somebody gets upset, or if somebody has a set of feelings, the other person sort of, by osmosis, sort of gathers those feelings and experiences them. It's not good. And the way she reacts to alcohol is very suspicious.
So talk to her, patch it up, and say you can no longer get drunk in front of me.
Oh, I don't know. It's just look, they're beating around. Just understand that this friendship is not built on what you thought it was. That there are sort of primitive needs being met in this relationship that are not healthy.
But
maybe a little bit of
let's
distance.
be fair. She was eyeballing her. No?
Yeah, I know. Maybe a little distance between the two of you would be worthwhile. It's sometimes real narcissistic people have friends just to keep control over them. They're there to meet their needs, and as soon as they're suspicious that you're sort of breaking out and individuating from the relationship, they become enraged and have to destroy them. Really?
You've been reading too much science fiction.
I don't mean. Well, I mean in a figure. They get an impulse to try to push them out of their life, or they get violent.
Listen, everyone break off and die alone. That's my advice. Jeremy.
Yes.
You're 25.
Yes.
Poor son of a bitch.
I've been on hold for 24 of those.
You've been you've been on hold for 80 minutes. And here's the irony, Jeremy. You were slated to be the second call tonight. Drew wrote down on his little magic marks-a-lot board there, line number 2 for the second one. But we just took a call regarding rape for the first call of the night, and I never read the calls before we go to them, but for some bizarre reason I glanced up, saw the word rape in your call, and decided, we don't have to take 2 rape calls in a row, and I just punched the line next to it, and then out of sight, out of mind, Drew moved on, and that was it. And you see how life can be, Jeremy?
I completely understand. Actually, after the first 3 calls, I was mad enough to forget about my own problems.
Yeah, what is going on with you, Jeremy?
With me, I would, by any standards, be considered a gentleman in my, I guess, conscious mind, but I've been having lately, well, I guess of very recent, I now have kind of a steady girlfriend, and it's kind of slacked off, but prior to that, had a long intern, about a year and a half, without really dating anybody, with any meaning anyway, and have been having dreams of rape and sexual abuse where I am the aggressor.
Mm-hmm. These are dreams or fantasies?
Started out as dreams, where I'm asleep, but would wake up and be noticeably aroused.
Mm-hmm.
And these unconscious dreams started kind of creeping into my conscious mind, which I guess that would be the realm of fantasy rather than dream.
Mm-hmm.
And what's happening? Are you doing any behavior manifesting?
No, because and herein lies my problem is that, I couldn't imagine actually ever doing that to somebody, because especially, after listening to your show and hearing these heartbreaking stories where something like that happens to me, I couldn't imagine destroying anybody's life.
All right, so what actually is your question for us?
Well, I'm going to find out what kind of shape you're in emotionally.
All right.
You ever watch pornography?
Yeah.
What do you like?
What
kind of stuff you go for?
Oh, I don't know.
Come on now. Who are you talking to here, Jeremy? What kind of movie would you rent? What section do you head for? You go for the big top?
No, more like the amateur stuff, not the
amateur.
sleazy, okay, let's try
What
to
does that
throw
mean?
a plot into this.
You go for the amateur stuff?
Yeah.
Home video?
Drew, don't play stupid with me. You got a pile of it in your car. Come on. You don't know what the amateur stuff?
I don't
Is
own
that
any of it.
Is that like home video or something?
Yeah, the amateur stuff where there was this whole onslaught of this, sort of like, you know how the independent record labels got real hot just a few years back?
Right.
And independent films became real hot, these lower budget things.
Right.
Sling Blade and whatnot.
Right.
Well, the pornography business, never too far off a trend, never one to buck one. They started coming out with these ones instead of the larger production ones with the professionals and the lighting and so forth. They start coming out with these amateur ones because everyone and their brother has a home video camera, right?
I see, all right.
All I got to do is round up the wife and the sister-in-law and get them good and liquored up, get the tripod going. Boom.
So keep with Jerry. Stay with Jeremy.
All right, you like the, you're not into the Ass Master series or anything like that?
No, nothing so particular as that.
Not into the,
He said no.
Hey, I'm moving on.
He said no, nothing particular.
Listen.
I'm getting offended by all this. It's amazing that it's so,
hey, Drew.
Categorized.
Drew.
Adam.
Can you just back off for a second?
No, but Adam's right as far as the categorization goes. You go into a store like that.
Into the geisha stuff, the into the Asian sex at all? Asian women?
Oh, I find Asian women beautiful.
Okay, so nothing there.
No.
All right, thanks for bolstering Drew's point. My point was, Drew, is it's you can tell a lot by a man.
If he's into the S&M stuff or something.
In S&M, he's into the sodomy stuff or something. You can see the fantasy is progressing.
Well, there's a violent streak there,
Yeah. I'm not so worried about him now. He doesn't have any particular porn preference.
So it's just some
Well,
aggression.
I don't know if that's better or worse.
That's
all
better.
of it excites me.
What?
I don't know if that's better or worse, that I'm not necessarily categorized into any of these individual types, but all of it arouses me.
Did you like Mama? Where's Mama?
Oh, no, I've got a very strong family. I wouldn't expect that to be an issue at all.
Just some undealt with aggression of some type, some anger, and he's
a lot of guys get turned on by that, bondage and that whole fantasy involving that. You know what I mean?
He's not acting on it.
All right, Jeremy, you're fine. You're not acting on it. Keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
Treat it like a wart. You know what I mean? You don't have to burn it off, but keep an eye on it.
It's a symptom
Starts
of
getting
something.
inflamed.
Yeah.
If other ones start popping up, then stop. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Am I right, Drew?
Yes, agreed.
Okay. Eric.
Yeah.
You're 17.
Hi. Just want to say I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yeah.
Also, Adam, I think you should start your own country, like the way you've been talking.
Oh, I'm working on it.
Whatever happened to Booville?
Oh, it's out there.
Are they under construction?
I would
Pulling
move there.
permits.
No, well, except for where I'm from, there's no garbage problems really like yours. But
Where do you live?
Illinois.
And what kind of garbage do they have over there?
Like you same like you said, you could chop up a tree, and as long as it's big enough, metric ton pieces, they'll take it.
Just drag.
We're moving.
Yeah.
The suburbs.
You could mothball a battleship. I mean, you could scrap a battleship in a lot of parts of this country. Whatever you could drag to the curb is what's going to get picked
What the
up.
hell's the matter out here?
Oh, here everything's got to be in its own little container. Screw you. And by the way, you got one container.
Oh, except they don't really pick up the recycling here. Like I don't know, they have a problem with the recycling.
We had an interesting experience this morning. Adam and I were out in a city, like a residential street, and everybody had their garbage pails, their trash cans out at this curb. And I had a coffee cup, and I was going to throw it away, and I almost threw it into the gardening basket, the gardening bin for these poor people whose house we were walking by, and they would have not gotten their garbage picked up because of that.
Poor Drew had an aneurysm trying to figure out what receptacle to throw his Starbucks coffee, his paper coffee cup into. There was like 8 of them out there. They should really start a game show. It's called the California Refuse Sweepstakes.
Yeah.
They take confused people, liquor them up. They give them like a soda can. They give them a Starbucks coffee cup, and they give them some coffee grounds, and they have 10 seconds to drop it into the proper receptacle.
Yeah. See, the thing is, like, about here, even though they'll take everything, there's huge landfills. Like, they actually made one to a golf course. I mean, there's, like, enormous. So maybe there's kind of, like, safe space for you.
Nope.
I don't know. Well, okay.
Nothing to do with that.
Okay, well, Mike, I have actually 2 questions. But I don't
It's
know.
not like we make less trash because of these damn receptacles. You just have to deal with it totally differently in a way that takes up half your day.
Yeah.
All right, anyway. So what's going on
Anyway,
there?
okay, I have 2 questions. One's actually about pot, and the other one's about something called body dysmorphic disorder.
All right.
I don't know if you want to answer both. Okay, the first one is about, like, a long time ago I smoked, like, the first time I ever smoked pot, it was a lot. Because the first time you don't really get anything.
Yes.
So I smoked, like, a tremendous amount, like, hours and hours, like, kept doing it.
Trying to get high.
Yes, like, desperately. I don't know, because I was, like, 16 or 15, and nothing happened. And then a couple weeks later, I did it again, and, like, the next day, I had 104 fever, and I didn't really connect it, but now later on I thought, well, maybe it was from that. I was, like, really sick. It might have been connected. I might have just had a cold or something, or flu.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, I've had, like, I don't know if it's even this is connected still. Like, when I walk by, like, reflective surfaces or mirrors sometimes, like, the corner of my eye and my peripheral vision, there'll be, like, a trail.
Trail of colors?
I don't know if it's colored. It's, like, a light. It's, like, almost like you have a glare.
How long were you sick with that 104 fever?
It was a one-day thing, and it was gone, like, completely.
Did you have any other symptoms beside fever?
I couldn't, like, hardly walk. I couldn't, like, couldn't hardly see. It was just a bad...
Did you have a headache?
I think everything hurts. Like, when it was actually a while ago. It was in, I think, probably. But
And you were perfectly well the next day?
Perfectly, yeah.
And it was definitely just marijuana you were smoking? There was any
The day
chance?
before, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, there might have been something in there. I mean,
Well, he sucked on it for 4 hours. How
Yeah, but
much
that was
could
the-
be
that was
in
a
there?
different
That was
time.
the
That
first
was
time.
Oh.
Actually, there had been a couple times in between the first, and it wasn't actually the second.
Right.
There was a couple times in between.
As worried I am about marijuana and its effect on the brain, that is not something I can connect up for you. I'm almost more worried that the fever caused some reaction, or that maybe this was that there's something about the acute illness that might have triggered something. I doubt it was the pot, and I doubt the pot triggered the acute illness. I've never seen anything like that. There is something called a neuroleptic malignant syndrome, which is caused by a class of medication called neuroleptics, and it's due to an imbalance of certain chemicals in the brain. And theoretically, that kind of thing could be triggered by other abusive substances, but I've never seen that happen. What?
I was just laughing at talking to you earlier today, and you're telling me I should have been on antidepressants about 12 years ago. And then I had to remind you that the crap hadn't been invented yet.
Yes.
What a horrible doctor you are, Drew. Waving the Prozac in front of me that way.
But you're not 23 anymore.
No.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Loveline listeners, beware.
Okay.
Yeah, what happened to those guys? Haven't heard from them at all.
What they're doing? They're going to be at the. They're going to be at KOME.
Oh, really? Good.
Yeah. At the.
Got a lot of traveling coming up.
The hell is that, Ann? What, the lunchbox or something? What is that thing? The Camp KOME. Right. Look, everyone, just call it the concert and put the call letters by it, and good enough. Everyone's got their own cute name for their thing.
Weenie Rose. WHSF Festival.
The WHF Festival. I never could get that one right. Here's the problem, too. You do enough of these things, you forget where you are, and you usually, if you're like me, you're drunk at all of them. So then you're up there, and you're going, hey, I want to thank you guys for coming out to the WHF.
Again, I'm proud to be associated with
Oh, yes, Drew. Well, Drew, what are you supposed to do? You go to these things, there's nothing to do, and everyone feeds liquor down your throat.
Yeah, I know they just tie you to a chair, throw your head back, and funnel it in.
I vomited 9 times last one of those I went to. I'm going to see if I can break my record here when we go to KOME in a few weeks.
And stay sober?
No. I vomited 9 times in Washington, D.C. I'm going to see if I can vomit 10 times.
Just delightful.
Yeah. And you're going to be counting the vomit. Hey, Ann, are you going to that? Oh. Drew, you're going to have to tally the vomiting.
All right. Can't wait.
Okay. Jenny.
Yes.
And by the way, no one cooks tuna anymore. For some reason, I used to be able to go to a restaurant and buy a tuna steak, and it'd be like a swordfish steak or a salmon steak.
Right.
Now if you order a tuna steak,
it's raw.
It's got scales on it.
Yeah.
It's totally raw. Why don't they tell you that, by the way?
I've had it cooked.
It says seared usually.
They have to beg them to cook tuna.
Seared means seared, not cooked.
No, it just says tuna, though. You get the tuna steak, and it's pink and has worms in it.
All
right, Jenny. That's why I was vomiting all night.
Okay, my question is, do you have to take the morning after pill the exact morning after, or can you wait like a couple days?
You can wait 48 hours. I wouldn't. Obviously, the more you wait beyond that, the greater the risk of it not working.
It's been like 4 days.
Well,
why are you asking now?
You know what? Interestingly,
hold on, Jenny. You're 24 years old.
I know.
Why do you sound like you're 14?
That's how I sound. Everybody always they call my house and they go, "Is your mom or dad home?" And I'm like, "I am the person of the house."
We could place a bet on you already.
Could be some gambling going on here.
Let me just put something out here. Somebody faxed us something out of a magazine here, where there's actually an organization called 888 Not Too Late. I think it's a phone number where you can actually get. I think you actually get the pill through this phone number, the morning after pill. But you need to get something right away if there's going to be any meaningful probability of it working, Jenny. Like right away, okay?
Right.
I mean, every minute is decreasing the effectiveness. But what happened that you're still stuck at around 14?
I don't know. My voice is just like that.
It doesn't work like that.
I did have a comment on. I wanted to tell you about what happened to me when I got pregnant.
How old were you when you got pregnant?
Well, I was 20 years old already, but I was talking about that. It was about that girl earlier who said that her boyfriend was like a heroin addict.
Mm-hmm.
And well, when I got pregnant at 20, and I had tried heroin before that with my boyfriend, and I did it for like a month probably, and then I stopped when I found out I was pregnant. Decided I would have it. Thinking somehow that it would be like the white picket fence deal, everything would get better or something, and we'd been together for 4 years, and what ended up happening was after I had the baby, I got strung out on heroin too, And,
children never make things better. They are a grueling work raising a child. They don't somehow make things and make you enter a parallel universe of fantasy and wonder.
I kid you a lot, but seriously, with the triplets
my God.
and the work that you have to put in.
Huge. My hair is turning
Put in
white.
the extra hours at the office to pay the au pair, pick up the nanny, drop off the nanny, call up the nanny, get the babysitter.
Get the kids out to camp.
yeah, it's not like a dog. It's not like you can just leave it at home.
Yeah, I understand.
Well, no,
Stay here and
listen, they just did a test, by the way, where they polled couples, I don't know, average couples, been together for some average amount of time, the ones that had kids and the ones that didn't. The ones that didn't have kids said they were happier. I mean, with each other, as far as the relationship. Maybe they love their kids and so on and so forth. Drew, you're triple miserable.
No, I'm just thinking about what that means because there's a kind of fulfillment.
Well, they just said it's you guys as a couple. And people just went, well, look, how much fun are we having? Well, we're not going on as many vacations,
right.
Therefore we're not as happy.
There's
therefore,
sacrifices.
Where's your first kid, Jenny?
Well, I ended up getting evicted out of my apartment, and I gave her to my mom to take care of. Well, I started doing like even more heroin after.
All right, well, let me ask. Wait.
Let me ask this though. Where's your first kid?
Well, she's with my ex-boyfriend's parents now. They're the legal guardians.
All right, are you in recovery now, or are you still strung out on something?
No, I'm still strung out.
On heroin?
Yeah.
Was your dad an alcoholic?
Well, my real father's a junkie, but he's in prison.
All right, Dad's a junkie. Did he beat you or mistreat you when you were a little kid?
I didn't really know him.
So do you remember your childhood?
Oh yeah, but I mean, he was 3. He was 3 when, or I was 3 when him and my mom separated.
So you don't really remember what happened when he was in your life?
No,
It's probably pretty crazy.
But the one I consider my father, that my mom never married, was an alcoholic too.
Right, and was he abusive to you?
No, he was a very happy drunk.
He never.
That's kind of nice.
Nobody
He's
ever,
kind of like the Arthur type.
Nobody ever struck you?
Oh, my mom did.
Okay.
We always tell that girl voice.
Yeah.
There's always something up with the little girl voice.
Yeah, always. Always.
I don't know what that is.
Really?
Remember when we had, and who'd we have in here? Used to be on Saturday Night Live. Victoria Jackson.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, it all came out.
Oh, we found out some stuff about that girl voice.
My mom beat the crap out of me for years. Totally.
All right. Well, now you get to beat the crap out of her by having a bunch of kids that you can't take care
All right,
of.
well, the deal is, Jenny, you take care of yourself.
Well, I was just, the reason I was telling you that whole story was just really for that other girl to tell her, don't get yourself into something that, you know what I mean, that
Yeah, she
you don't
can't
even
follow through
know
on.
what's up, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, but hold on, Jenny.
Carry a kid for, 10 months, and you're not going to want to give it up for adoption, you know what I mean?
Danny.
I mean,
Jenny.
yeah.
Yeah, but you're calling us to tell us you may be pregnant again.
Oh, I won't have, no.
Yes.
I'm not going to have another kid.
That's what I like to hear.
No way.
That's right.
But more
what
importantly,
about Norplant?
Oh, I'm afraid of those things.
See, in
Jenny, you put a needle in your arm.
You're shooting up with heroin.
You shoot infected material into your body throughout the day. Okay? Be sensible here. Do some things to help protect yourself against pregnancy. And do something to get yourself over the heroin addiction. If you don't get in some help soon, your life expectancy is going to be very short.
You know what though? I've been in recovery. I went to a recovery house. I almost had 6 months, and I keep getting sober, and then I relapse, and I get sober. And
Well, that's typical of heroin. I mean, that's what heroin is about.
It's like you start to give up and just think that it's never going to happen.
It'll happen, but you got to get through that first year, and you got to create a lot of structure, and you got to work in a fearless way, and it's very difficult work. And you got to stay with the program. There's no doubt that you must have lost your focus a little bit and not followed directions. You got to follow directions. You got to listen to what everybody tells you to do. You got to do fearless inventories on a regular basis. Use the tools, and get well, or you're not going to live very long.
Yeah.
That's the way this goes.
Yeah, it's a weird disease, I mean, it really, I ended up living in the motels.
But here's the deal, Jenny, is that the drug, the people that get strung out...
It's not so much weird as it is evil, Jenny.
People that get strung out on heroin are usually alcoholic, biologically. But here's the deal, is the drug impairs your ability, it does two things. It impairs your ability to tolerate discomfort, and people who are heroin addicts usually already have a lot of negative feelings that they have difficulty tolerating. It impairs your ability to tolerate those feelings even further, and it creates a state in the brain where it has real difficulty surviving. The brain believes it can't survive without the drug. I call it the negative reward conditioning, and that negative reward conditioning decays over about 12 months. So for the first 12 months, the drive to use on even a non-conscious level is intense and overwhelming. On a conscious level, people feel this sense of loss and remorse and this sort of emptiness that they know they can fill again with the drug. On top of that, there's all that negative feeling that you have to get into and get through in order to get into the recovery effectively. It's an extremely difficult task, but it can be done. I've seen some miraculous recoveries from heroin.
Oh, half the guests we have on this show were mainlining heroin, like 2 weeks earlier. I mean, most of the bands and stuff. A lot of artists.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of, a lot of people. Oh, what chance? What chance does she have? Dad was a heroin addict. Dad, it's really...
Mom beat the crap out of her.
But just turn the clock back 20 years, She was a heroin addict. She was... The guy she hooked up with I know you're going to find this amazing, Drew.
A heroin addict.
Heroin addict.
Imagine that.
But we're all individuals, aren't we, Drew?
Oh, individual polar bears.
That's right. We all do our own thing. She just happened to like this guy. Pure coincidence. Didn't even find out about the heroin until after they started dating.
Of course.
Then she had a kid. And what are the chances that kid is going to find themselves a little heroin addict one day? That is why we're on the air. That and the money. We want to prevent this from happening. Am I right, Drew?
Yeah.
Huh. All you naysayers. Kiss my ass. All right. We'll be back.
Hi, Doctor.
Yeah.
Great guys.
Now, I have love for the Bosstones. Unnatural love, I might add, too.
Indeed.
Mike.
Yes.
You're 21.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've never said indeed in my life.
Indeed, you haven't.
You know what else I've never said? How so? I hate when people say, how so? Uh-huh. I think things are different these days. How so? Don't like that how so. I like the guys who go, why?
I don't think you'd ever describe yourself as contumacious either.
Indeed. Mike?
Uh-huh.
How so are you calling?
Huh?
I like a guy stupider than I am. It's very rare. I think we found one. All right, you're 21. What do you want?
Well,
He's asleep.
basically, my boyfriend from my old hometown has come to pay a visit on me here, and I have a girlfriend here in my new hometown now.
Does she know you're bisexual?
Not really. Although he didn't know I was bisexual either. And I guess neither did I.
You thought you were gay?
Basically, yeah, I thought I was a homosexual.
All right,
And
so
that's when
we
I came to this new town, and
we can only sum you up as confused.
Pretty much.
Ambiguous. Why? Why are you so confused at 21?
I don't know.
Things should be getting clear by 21.
I was hoping to. Honestly, I was hoping
What's the deal? Where did all this confusion come from?
I guess I got mixed messages from the crowd that I hung out with.
Oh, please. Listen, I could have traveled the country in Richard Simmons' trunk, and I wouldn't have gotten confused about my sexuality. Just because you're hanging around with a few gay guys doesn't mean you start getting a hankering for penis.
No.
No, that's not true. Yeah, you're right.
So what's the deal?
I'm not trying to say it's a crime. I'm just saying, don't pass it off on the guys you're hanging out with.
Right.
You're into guys. You're into guys.
So what's the deal? Well, he's not even into guys. He's into what he's into. Why all the confusion?
Well, I thought I was into guys, and now I'm realizing that maybe that wasn't
We're
true.
not going to get an answer, are we?
All right. Mike?
Uh-huh.
Ask some specific questions.
All right. All right. Let's
That's
say
how he feels
this.
about his mom. That's how you like to.
How do you like your mom?
She's great.
Okay. Let's say you're in a room, and there was just 4 walls,
Uh-huh.
and one wall had a penis and a vagina on it. No, had a vagina and breasts on it, and the other wall had just a penis on it. Which wall would you go to?
The one with the breast and the vagina.
Oh, you would?
Yes.
Vagina?
Uh-huh. The vagina, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like. All right, so that makes you a little more hetero than gay, doesn't it?
It makes him confused. The whole thing is confused. That's all. That's the word that summarizes what's up.
All right.
But here's the deal.
Now listen, Mike can barely form a sentence. He doesn't know whether he wants guys. He doesn't know whether he wants girls. Tell your girlfriend you're bisexual.
A great way to get confused is sexual abuse. If he was abused or a neighbor or something.
No, he loves his mom.
No. Neighbor
All
or
right.
something.
Mike, were you ever sexually abused?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay. All right. He's just confused for being for confusion's sake, and now I've become confused. Brandon.
Yeah.
16.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Well, Adam, I have to tell you, first of all, that I loved your speech earlier.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You're 16. Wait till you get older. You're really going to love it.
Probably so, but I have sort of a complicated problem. My twin sister, she got killed in a car wreck about 2 months ago.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Now, does twin sister mean you're born at the
Yes.
same time, but
Yeah.
you don't necessarily look alike?
Well, it's a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, but can't you look like
Like a girl, yeah, but you're still not the same
gotta
kind
have
of
the
makeup.
junk, huh? Okay.
Okay.
But you guys were real close?
Yeah, we were real close.
Did you have that sort of symbiotic thing going on that twins claim? They know what the other one's thinking and that sort of thing?
Well, she seemed to know what I was thinking, but I had no idea what she was thinking.
Okay.
But I live in this apartment complex, and some girl moved in about 2 weeks ago. She looks and acts just like my sister did. And, I mean, we have to go to school together, and I see her all the time around here. And every time I see her, I just freeze up, man.
Well, I think you're going to find, as a way your mind is going, it sounds like your mind's going to try to protect itself by finding somebody in your life that you can look upon as your sister alive. I mean, it sounds like you're still not done with the grieving or really accepting this because you're sort of projecting it out into the world as though she's going to appear somewhere.
Marge Schott could have moved in next door and he would have said it was a spitting image
it's going to be somebody that he's going to project that onto.
I mean, even my parents say they look...
I understand. I understand.
Do you, are you attracted to her?
No, it's just every time I see her...
It's just weird.
You just got to...
I just can't speak. I mean...
It drums up all these memories, huh?
Yeah.
Well, it's 2 months
so
past a
fresh,
horrible tragedy.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, Brandon, how are you dealing with all this?
It's been tough, but I've been going to counseling, so that's good.
All right. Don't worry about this girl. I mean, she is not your sister.
No, I know that.
And she's not going to intrude upon you in some way that's going to bring in overwhelming feelings. Just don't worry about it. Don't just deal with your feelings about the grieving. How are your parents dealing with this?
Oh, boy. I mean... You know how parents are. They don't show emotions on the outside, but on the inside, just tearing up.
And I bet, for a twin, too, I know that's going to be just horrible.
Yeah, every time I see this girl, though, it's like I don't know, I can't speak. I just want to run and cry. And
well, of course.
Wimpy.
Brandon, no. That's not wimpy. That's normal. And of course, I mean, it's going to take a long time. I mean, this is something that you're going to carry with you for forever, really. And you will learn to deal with it. You will grieve it, and it will happen in its own time. But part of it now is this girl, and it's triggering these feelings that become overwhelming, and they should be overwhelming. I mean, it might be good if you could form a relationship with this girl, perhaps to tell her.
Yeah.
Well, you know what you need to do is get you with your friends and tell them how you feel. But God, no, 6-year-old friends are not so.
They can be good.
Yeah.
You just think of the ones that listen to the show.
You got to get...
There's other 16-year-olds out there, Drew, that are, not pregnant and hopped up on smack.
You got to get as many people supportive around you and talk about these feelings and don't feel wimpish. They're normal.
Brandy.
Yeah?
You're 18.
Huh?
Uh-oh. I smell trouble already. Our callers have like a 10-minute acclimation period that usually goes on when we punch them on the air.
Right.
Huh? What? Oh,
Okay, here's
our listeners are like people that dozed off on a bus, and you wake them up and tell them, hey, we're going to need to see your transfer. What? Huh? They're still in the middle of something. All right, Brandy, you ready to go now?
Okay, I was going out with this guy for like almost a year, and we broke up a while back, but I just had a question if something's wrong with him, if I could have been exposed to sexual disease or something, because every time he'd have an erection and he'd like cum or whatever you call it, his sperm was green.
Mm-hmm. You ever see him put a head of lettuce in his ass? No, she's laughing, but she
I've
doesn't.
never heard of green unless there's some infection. I mean, it's really sort of yellow, really, is what they're talking about. And,
Well, one time his mom was saying something about him taking medication, and I asked him about it, and he denied it. And he was like, no, it's just for, like, calcium or something.
Here's the deal. Sperm white, blood red, urine either clear and or red. I was talking about a disease. Yeah, clear or yellow. Feces, brownish hue. That's it. Anything else that comes out is considered pus in my book and should be dealt with accordingly.
So should I get checked out? I've never been to a gynecologist before.
If you're sexually active, you should be to a gynecologist anyway. You should discuss that with him or her.
You could be pregnant with an alien baby.
No, but I mean, you should be getting regular pap smears. People need to understand that young women get cervical cancer and die of it if it's not picked up early enough. And it is women who begin their sexual activity at an early age or who have multiple partners who are at the highest risk for cervical cancer.
Spin Dr. Drew at the helm. Julie, you're 17.
Hi.
Hey.
I watch the show every night, and I listen to it on the radio, and I've never heard of anybody having this problem, so I thought I'd ask you.
All right.
I'm 5 months pregnant,
And when I have sex with my boyfriend, like, when he's on the top, I don't have a problem or anything. But when I'm on the top, I get really bad pain.
You would expect to be a husband, would you?
What?
They're just having a kid.
Not just having a baby.
Yeah.
Hey, Julie.
Yeah.
Second kid?
No, this is my first one.
Oh, okay.
But so I was just wondering why it only happens
Why?
when I'm on top.
Why aren't you calling your obstetrician about this?
Well, because it doesn't happen like all the time, and
There are lots and lots of possibilities, but you need to contact your obstetrician and talk about it just to be sure. One of it could be inducing labor, preterm labor.
Well, after like it hurts for like 10 minutes afterwards, and then it goes away, and it's not like contractions or like they come and go. You know, this is like a constant.
Well, it could be some kind of contraction of the uterus. It could be just the anatomy being stirred up, since it's, you know, the anatomy obviously is different in the pregnant state. It could be some infection. Could be a placenta that is placed incorrectly.
All right, stop having sex, Julie.
Certainly stop.
17, you're pregnant.
You're pregnant. You want to
Enough of
avoid
that.
things that cause pain, and you should be discussing anything that doesn't seem completely normal with your obstetrician. I mean, prenatal care is vital.
Postnatal care.
You want to talk about some cost to you? You know, some suck.
I'm done.
Some pulling your tax dollars. Imagine if she has the baby now, it gets saved, put on a ventilator, neonatal ICU for 6 months.
All right. I gotta get another job. Just from tonight's call, I had a quick idea, real fast. I think you're gonna enjoy this, Drew. You know how I don't like the notion of sex with pregnant women because they become mama? I've come up with a compromise. When a woman is showing, we get some sort of, they got that huge lump in the stomach, we get some sort of stick-on nipple. So it just looks like a tremendous breast growing out of their abdomen. That way, I'll look at it as a woman with 2 small breasts and 1 tremendous breast, and I don't think it would foul me up sexually quite as much as it would if it was mama.
You may create a whole new category in your porn museum.
Women with tremendous breasts coming out from the abdomen. Someone has to come up with this stick-on nipple for the pregnant women. This would be brilliant, right there. Come on. Lee press-on nipples. Honey, you grew a new nipple. Almost.
Loveline, I'll be right back, and you'll be Loveline.
Naturally, of course.
Show you'll not soon forget. Adam Carolla.
What are you talking about?
I misread my name. Jamming with Big John Popper from Blues Traveler. So, I want to thank the lovely Sherry, the beautiful Lisa, the wonderful one producer Ann, and of course the one at Wonder engineer Mike for doing his gig tonight. And until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Dr. Drew saying mahalo.
This has been Loveline.